everyone, Bernard here. I hope you're all very well. Welcome to the Citizen channel, and it's another Citizen Present today. City's Present vlog, isn't it? As we do a big match review, of course, of the Premier League game. Leeds United versus Manchester City at Elland Road, 3rd of October 2020, 5:30 PM kickoff. Elland Road, sounds alright to say that, doesn't it? It's sort of thing that I used to say we sort of dreaded back in the 70s and 80s when I used to go there, unless we were mob-handed. I mean, even they were dodgy days. Obviously they went with a bit of a mob. My first visit is this programme here. You can see the I used to have sellotape marks there in the corner that I sellotaped it to my bedroom wall. That was my very first visit, and there wasn't many City fans there that night, and it was a little bit nasty to say the least, but had some interesting visits to Elland Road anyway. So after a bit of a gap, we're back there, aren't we, in the league anyway, in the Premier League. I think we played them in the Cup, haven't we? Certainly at the Etihad recently, that I can remember. Yeah, so that sounds all right. And Elland Road, one of the old grounds, fantastic. It's great to have these old grounds back. I do sort of, obviously Etihad is our home now, isn't it? But you do like these old, certainly guys of my age anyway, like these old grounds and have happy memories. I mean, that was the cowshed. We were in the cowshed, it was called at the time, before they knocked it down and built what's there, what they have now as a stand. But it was literally a rickety old thing that we stood in, and say it wasn't the greatest. There's a few City fans there, but we didn't go mob-handed. That it was. I'm sure it was a night game. I can't remember now. No, 2:30 PM. It seemed dark when we went. I don't know. So I don't know, must have been a really miserable day. So yeah, March. Yeah, it could have been dark early. I'm not too sure. Anyway, we're not talking about that, are we? That's another memory. That's in my City past. That'll be in a moments in time, I assume, at some stage. Right, we've got our usual features today, including a look at our opponent's Leeds, some history between our two wonderful clubs, the odds on the game with my free just for fun bets after the disaster I had last week. Please don't. They are just for fun. Our regular City magazine feature. And we got a little You Are The Ref this week, a You Are The Ref game. I've had this game in stock and out of stock over the years, but just a little feature. Going to have that this week. More of that in a moment. We look forward to this Leeds game, so please join me for that. And please, if you're new to the channel, push that subscribe button. That'd be absolutely fantastic. I'm trying to get my subscribers. I'm trying to get 500 well, I did set my target as the end of October 2020, but I think I was a bit optimistic there based on how many it's took me to get to where I am now. So yeah, I will try for it. I mean, if you don't aim for the stars and you fall short and hit the moon, it's all right, isn't it? So I'm going for 500. So please, if you're not pushed that subscribe button, please push it now. Tell your friends about this city vlogs as well, please. There's loads out there, and there's always something of interest to City fans. Please, if you can help us out by subscribing and pushing me and letting people know about it, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And thumbs ups as well. Comments are nice, but it's nice to get views. But I'm always trying to get at least 20 thumbs up now on these vlogs, please. I've always sort of get anywhere between 8 and 15 at the moment on these and my film and TV vlogs as well. I do film and TV vlogs, so please, thumbs up, be fantastic. I'm much appreciated. Let's try and get these up to 20. So I know you're out there. You don't have to leave a comment. Just takes you a split second to leave a thumbs up. Right. Very quickly, You Are The Ref. Yeah, it was a great game. I've got it here actually. There's the box. Keith Hackett was involved in it. Fantastic game. I did a review on it about 13, 14 months ago. I think that's still on the playlist if you want to have a look at it and have a look at the game. It's a fantastic game. Anyway, so a bit of fun. I'm just going to read question out now. I'll give you the answer at the end of this vlog. Obviously these aren't dead recent, so I'm fairly sure these rules still stand as they are. Obviously, but I'm the VAR guy anyway, so it's whatever I said goes. So here we go. First one that we're going to look at today: a winger bursts into the penalty area, dribbling along the goal line. He nutmegs a defender and then tries to run past him, but in doing so runs out of the field of play. The defender's challenge is rash and he fouls the winger, but the foul takes place while the winger is off the field. So he blocks him, but he's obviously off the field. He fouls him, not obstruction, he fouls him while he's off the field. Even though the ball is still in play, what do you do? So the ball's still in play. So imagine what would you do in that place? I mean, he's in the penalty box, it's still in play, he's running along the goal line. So you've got four options. You've got award a direct free kick, take no action, just ignore it, award an indirect free kick, or D, award a penalty. So what would you do with those four? So have a think on that anyway. So I'll get you the answer right at the end. Quite an interesting one that I've had to look. I'll start looking through these cards, come up with some interesting ones for you as well. Right, here we go. Our last visit to West Yorkshire in the Premier League was the 22nd of March 2004. And Leeds, it was Leeds, sadly, Leeds' last season in the Premier League till now. Obviously, it's in the top division till now, and they did sit bottom of the league when we visited him. So, obviously, us visiting Leeds, they're bottom. So, obviously, a Leeds win must have been on the cards, wasn't it? Yeah, well, there you go, it was, wasn't it? I mean, looking back at the BBC report on the game, if you were there, I wasn't at this one. If you remember this game back in 2004, Leeds lined up Robinson, Kelly, Caldwell, Matteo, Domi, Pennant, McPhail, Seth, Johnson, Milner, Smith and Vidulka. Milner, there you go. City lined up James, Wright, Phillips, Dunn. I assume that's Bradley, Wright, Phillips. Dunn, Van Boyten, Distan, Tarnett, Sibierski, Barton, Bosvelt, Fowler and Anelka. Yeah, there was 36,998 there. And the result, yes, well, Leeds 2, City 1. So even though they were bottom of the league, they still did us. Then again, we weren't much higher at the time. So, it was bottom of the table, 6-pointer, wasn't it? Yeah, just going back to the report, Leeds climbed off the bottom of the table with an unlikely win, having been on the back foot for most of the game. Against run of play, Leeds took the lead with a fluke goal, with McPhail scoring for the first time since December 1999. After Michael Turner had fouled Jermaine Pennant down the right wing, McPhail's in-swinging free kick curled past James, who managed to get a hand on the ball, only to see it go in after hitting the post. Do you remember that? Another free kick, this time at the other end of the pitch, almost brought City's equaliser after Seth Johnson had fouled Barton. Tarnett's face free kick took a deflection off Didier Domi and struck the post. Just before the interval, City deservedly drew level when Anelka's low cross shot found the corner of the net. Nicolas Anelka. With 15 minutes to go, Leeds once more scored against the run of play with a controversial, here we go, it's never easy with City, is it? Controversial penalty as Van Boyten was adjudged to have fouled Smith inside the box, did he? Well, obviously the ref thought so. Wiley, the referee, decided the foul had occurred inside the penalty area and dismissed the Belgian international. So there's some doubt whether it was in or outside the penalty area. Viduka then calmly took the penalty away, 2-1 for Leeds. We had 10 men, didn't we? But then again, Sibierski went close with another header late on, but Leeds held on to secure the point. So there you go. Not the greatest visit to Elland Road for us, was it? And as I said, they did go down. Thankfully, City, we clung on to our top league spot. I think we finished in 16th that season. Leeds finished 19th, so we managed to stay up, even though obviously Leeds did that to us. How are they doing this year? How are they doing in 2021? Well, Bielsa will be very happy, won't he? At their start. I mean, they're out of the Carabao Cup, unfortunately. They lost on pens, I think, to Hull with that one. But yeah, they went to Anfield, didn't they? Nothing to lose. 7-goal thrill, and sadly they were on the hiding of the seven goals, weren't they? We lost 4-3 to Liverpool. I didn't actually see that myself, but from by all accounts, they give a good account of themselves. And then they followed that with another 7-goal thrill, where this time they scored the 4 goals when they beat promoted Fulham 4-3 in their opening home game of the season. And then followed this up with a great win at the Yorkshire rivals, of course, Sheffield United, a 1-0, which leaves them 7th. So the 7th in the league with 6 points from a possible 9. I mean, sort of proviso to that, obviously Sheffield and Fulham currently sit 19th and 20th. So I'm sure Bielsa is not getting too carried away, but all he can do is beat what's put in front of you, can't you? So that's not a bad start for Leeds. They've done well there. So confidence is high. Let's face it, they'll have a real go at City, won't they? It's all set up to be a great game. Will it be a 7-goal thrill? I mean, with City have been involved in the last Premier League game was a 7-goal thriller of ourselves, wasn't it? Yes, unfortunately, we only scored 2 of those 7 goals, but I'll be happy with a 5-2, perhaps a 6-1. To City for this one would do nicely. So I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I'm just recording this after we've beat Burnley in the Carabao Cup. A lot better performance. And this is, I think, will be my starting lineup for this game, taking into account what players he played in the Carabao Cup. And there's an international break, isn't there? So I don't think he'll particularly be resting anyone unless someone's picked up a knock. I mean, I think Laporte got sort of landed on last night, so hopefully he'll be okay. So anyway, this is my team based on what I know about injuries, etc., and who's not coming back. I've ignored people like Gundogan and Cancelo because I just don't know when they're coming back, or Jesus or Aguero even. So I'm gone for EDERSON, Walker, Ake, Laporte, Mendy, Rodri, KDB, Foden, Bernardo, Sterling, and Torres. I think, yeah, he'll play Torres again. His confidence must be really up after that performance against Burnley. So that should be doable, shouldn't it? That should be, I believe, obviously, I don't think Jack Harrison can play for Leeds, can he? He's obviously one of their better players. I'm sure. I think he's still a City player, isn't he? I don't think he can play for Leeds anyway. So, yeah, it will be an interesting game. I'll give you my score prediction as I do these little bets that I'm going to do now, please. The odds now. So we'll have a look at the odds on the game and various other things. Please, I don't condone gambling in no way, and please never ever gamble more than you can afford, and when the fun stops, stop, because based on my last 3 tips last week against for this Burnley game last night, yeah, don't listen to what I say. As I said, I've never won at football betting. I've only ever won at horse racing betting, but so please, this is just for a bit of fun, for you to sort of a bit of extra interest when you're watching games, etc. Just before we talk about the match, I mean, City are now no longer favourites for the Premier League. We were at the start of play, obviously before game 1, but it's took 2 games, so it's took as many as 2 games. But there it is, we've lost it. We've lost favouritism now. Liverpool are the 5-6 on favourites to win the Premier League, and City, you can get a nice 13-8 if you fancy it. I won't be bothering. I might lay it, but I won't lay it. I'll probably lay the Champions League again, but I won't bet against City in the league. I won't do that. But that's quite interesting, is it? 5-6 Liverpool, Manchester City are 13-8, and Leeds are 200-1. So you fancy Leeds? I mean, they've got 6 points out of 9, 200-1. That's not too bad, is it? Right, on to the match itself. The match odds: City are 4-11. 4-11 on to win the game. 9-2 the draw. 15-2. We don't have many draws, City, do we? We've never, last few years, we've not really took part in many draws, have we? First goal scorer, you've got the usual suspects on that. Sterling at 10-3, Mahrez at 5, KDB 6, Foden 7, Torres and Palmer both 17-2. Yeah, Palmer had he kept appearing, Palmer, before he even played a game, and he's still up there, 17-2. Ake 33-1. I put a little question mark on that one. That could be interesting. I mean, I know he scored obviously last week, but and Leeds, if you fancy Leeds, Bamford's 10-1. He's the lowest priced Leeds player to score. Both teams to score. Usually I have a go at this market, but I'm not this week. Yes is 4-7, which I think is certainly possible. Certainly, well, it should happen. I think both teams are capable of scoring. And 11-8 for no. So yeah, if you fancied that, 4-7 and 11-8. Excuse me. The correct score for City, 2-1 is 15-2, 3-1 is 10-1, 2-0 is 10-1, 3-0 is 11-1, a draw at 1-1 is 12-1, 1-0 is 11-1, and we're getting to the interesting ones now. 4-0 is 16-1. But I do fancy both teams to score, but that 4-7, I didn't fancy that 4-7. So 4-1 is 16-1. So I'm going to have a point on that. I'm going to have 1 point on 4-1, and I'm going to have 1 point on 4-2 to City, which is 28-1. So you've got 4-1 at 16-1 and 4-2 at 28-1. So I'm going to split my points. Usually I have a 2-point one, don't I? So I'm going to have a couple of bets. I'm going to cheat this week, and I'm going to do it again in a little moment as well. So I'm going to split my bets on that one. If you fancied 4-3, if you fancied the 7-goal thriller, another 4-3 for Leeds, and well, so it'll be the first for City. But if you fancy a City win at 4-3, it's 66-1. A Leeds win at 4-3 is 125-1. So there you go. That's an interesting one. Half time and full time. This is quite interesting. City and City's 10-11. That's not bad. I nearly went for that. That 10-11 is a good price if you fancy that. A draw and City to win is 4-1. A draw and a draw is 10-1. Leeds is 14-1, and Leeds to win at half time and City to win the match is 25-1. So some interesting prices there. Yeah, I was tempted by that 10-11, but again, I've kept my powder dry. I didn't go for that one. Anytime goal score, I usually like doing this, don't I? But again, I've kept my powder dry. I'm not bothered with the anytime goal score. I've tried to be a bit different. I say it's just a bit of fun. It get boring if I do the same things all the time, wouldn't it? Anytime goal score, you got Sterling at 4-6, Mahrez at 6-4, KDB at 17-10, Foden at 8-5, or you can have Mr. Bamford if you fancy Mr. Bamford for Leeds at 14-5. No, I've gone for my 5-point bet, my big bet today on the goals under or over. I've gone. If you say under 3.5 goals and over 3.5 goals, you can get 10-11 on both those. So I'm going to go over 3.5. So there's got to be 4 goals in the match. So I'm taking a chance answer, but I think it'll be quite open. So I'm going for that. I'm taking a risk, obviously. 10-11, 5 points on that one. So that's my second, third bet, depending which way you look at it. Over 4.5 is actually 2-1 you can get. So if it's 5 goals or more, 2-1. That's quite generous actually. And under 5 you can get 2-5 on. It's 2-5 on. So, but it's worth it. It's worth it for over, I think, on that one. But yeah, I'm going for the over 3.5 at 10-11, and the total goals market. I'm going for that as well, which coincides really, doesn't it? For 0 goals in the game, you can get 25-1. For 0 or 1 goal, you can get 6-1. For 2 or 3 goals, you can get 11-8. For 3 goals, you can get 10-3. And for 4 goals, this is about, again, I'm going to split my bets on this one. For 4 goals, you can get 4-1, so I'm going to have a point on that. And for 5 goals, you can get 5-1, so I'm going to have a point on that. So there you go. That concludes that. So my best bets, the correct score, 4-1. 1 point at 16, 4-2, 1 point at 20, 28-1 was it? I've not written it down. What am I doing? Gone to pot, useless. Yep, 28-1, that's correct on that one. And what was the other bets? And goals over, I'm going for over 3.5. So we need to score 4 goals between us, Leeds and City. 5 points at 10-11 on that one. And total goal scored, I'm going to go for a total goal scored of 4 combined. This is combined, so that's at 4-1. And a total goal scored 5 at 5-1. So I'm going to have a point each on those. So hopefully to get a couple of those up, I'll be nicely in profit to make up for last week's debacle. Now on to the regular City magazine feature at mancity.com. Yeah, they marked the launch of the Team of the Decade canvas, didn't they? Designed by artist Jamie Cooper. An epic work out of art depicting so many different facets of our recent journey and openly nods to the qualities that have led Manchester City to the England's preeminent team of 2010 to 2020. I think we just edged it over Chelsea, didn't we? Only just, I think. I mean, I'm sure I saw something about Chelsea had actually gone slightly better than us, but I'm fairly sure that we did edge out Chelsea, but I'm not 100%, but I think that's what's happened. Citizens were asked to vote for which players should feature in our strongest 11 of our trophy-laden last 10 years, with the likes of Hart, Tevez, Kompany, Barry, Torre, Sterling and Sergio Aguero all involved. Each manager has been contributed to our success. Roberto Mancini, Pellegrini and Pep Guardiola, who also feature. And there's also some celebrities on there. I hope the Gallaghers aren't on there. They get on everywhere, don't they? And yeah, so that looks great. There's an image there on the screen, obviously. And actually, Man City TV have actually done a little piece with Jamie Cooper. I think he's either Australian or New Zealand. I don't know from the accent. I'm always told if you hear that accent, say you're from New Zealand, and they quite like it if they're from New Zealand, that you notice the difference. But if they're Australian, they're quite happy to deny it. So you can't lose if you do that. And same with Americans and Canadians, but there you go. Yeah, so if you look at Man City Fan TV there on YouTube, if you check that out, he's done a piece on that, Andy, there on Jamie Cooper's artwork. So there's a piece by Jamie Cooper, and then Andy's talked through the actual picture itself. Right, City have announced another multi-year global partnership with someone I've never heard of, the newly rebranded Axie, which rebranded, I don't even know what they were in the first place, to become club's official online trading partner. Since its inception as Axie Trader in 2007, Axie have made giant strides to become a top 10 broker, developing a reputation for its innovative customer-focused approach and advanced AI technology. There you go. So another partnership, another few quid in the bank for City. That's not too bad. And obviously there's a lot made and a lot done in the press, etc., about this little City error, wasn't it? A little copy and paste error gone wrong, I think, with the Citizens new signing, where you could actually win not a Ruben Diaz signed shirt, but a Kalidou Koulibaly signed shirt. So that was a bit of a disaster from City's media people there, wasn't it? It's not the first, it certainly won't be the last, let's be honest about it. I mean, of course, there's been some great stuff on social media, interviews, etc., on the City website with obviously the new signings. And away from the club, there's been some great stuff as well with OTAMENDI leaving. And obviously the interviews and things on OTAMENDI on the City site as well, City website. But away from City, at Flawless Ferran, he did a goodbye El General with a great image. I did have to correct him though. If you look at the image, he actually says it's Community Cup. So I did actually say, well, yeah, it's wonderful, a fantastic image. I think it's great, but it's actually Community Shield. But whether he's gone back and redone that, I'm not too sure. But it's not like me to nitpick. But you have to get these things right, don't you? It's Community Shield. I mean, I do call it myself the Charity Shield sometimes. But if I was doing a wonderful image like that, I would make sure I got it right. At Bifana_Bifana shared a couple of great Portuguese media pages before the actual things went through with Otamendi and Diaz. I mean, there's a couple of images there. And it's just, I mean, I couldn't understand a word of it, but you can tell just by the covers, obviously, what they're talking about. That was really great. And at City_Extra, very popular, had an image of our now centre-back options, which was quite interesting there with the four guys. And perhaps Stones not so much, because let's face it, he'll be injured most of the time. But yeah, that was, again, another nice image, and that was at City_Extra. And staying with at City_Extra, I just had to comment, wow, really, to their Skybar backdrop theme for the vlogs, which is absolutely fantastic. If you go on to at City_Extra, you can see that it was absolutely stunning. I mean, I prefer mine. I mean, you know, mine's much better. Mine's more natural. Mine's real. Mine's not pretend, you know. So yeah. So say at City_Extra. Obviously, the guys who've gone over to there from their own vlog. Obviously, the two new guys. They don't need any introduction from me. You probably know them anyway. They started off on their own, and obviously they've gone over to City Extra now. So, but. Yeah, I just had to say wow to that backdrop. I would have been more impressed. I'd love to live there if someone created that, say, in one of these big fancy apartments. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? Absolutely superb. Yeah, and on negative, you know, coming a bit of a downer. ESPN, of course, no big fans of City. Remind us about City's net spend for the last 10 years, you know, and how we've spent more than anyone else net spend. But yeah, it was money well spent, wasn't it? Because I think we were, as I said, we were the most successful the last 10 years. So yeah, all right, we spent a lot of money. We had to get back up there, didn't we? We had to spend to sort of clamber back on the gravy train, didn't we, to get back up there with the elite. So we had to put ourselves back up there, and yeah, we've had the success. It's not as though we haven't had the success. So ESPN, a very negative organisation towards City, I've found anyway. So that's about that. That's the City magazine. Thanks for joining me for this today. Obviously, I'm going to be back with a review of the Leeds game that will be put out on Sunday. I may be doing it Saturday evening if I get a chance, but obviously I'll actually put it together and put it out on Sunday the 4th of October. And please check out my recent City in the view of Nicolas Otamendi. I've done a little special, little small tribute to him leaving City, so please check that out on my playlist as well on the Citizen channel. The links will be on screen and below, etc. Right, before we go, you are the ref, the answer. Right, so what do you think then with this one? Yeah, interesting, wasn't it? You know, so the winger's in the penalty area, going down the byline. He obviously pushes the ball past to get around the defender. The defender fouls him off the pitch, so he's not actually in the penalty box. So, you know, would you give a direct free kick? Would you take no action? Would you award an indirect free kick, or would you award the penalty? Well, the answer actually is an indirect free kick. Interestingly, even though the ball's in the penalty area, it's an indirect free kick. I mean, I think I may have got it, but I may have touched on the penalty because the ball's in play and he's been denied access to it, is he? Even though he's off the pitch. I mean, he could have gone back onto the pitch and got the ball. There's no rule to say he can't. And the description of the answer C. Award an indirect free kick. The defender can be shown a card depending on the seriousness of the foul. But as the offence did not take place inside the area, you cannot award a penalty. The free kick should be taken from the point where the ball was when you stopped play, or if the ball was inside the 6-yard box, from the point nearest to where the ball was on the 6-yard line, parallel with the goal line. Well, there you go. But at the end of the day, you don't even get a penalty. I think that's silly. I think VAR, that's VAR again for you. It's absolutely ridiculous, isn't it? Anyway, hope you enjoy that. Did you get it right? Let me know. Let me know in the comments if you got it right. That'll be fantastic. Please check my links on screen now. Follow and friend me on Twitter or Facebook, and I will likewise do back. I do check every couple of days, and if you need followers and friends, etc., I'll do that back for you. Please, if you can check out my website for old rare DVDs, movie posters from the 90s and 2000s, some board games on there as well, including You Are the Ref. So if you do fancy that, the games on there, so moviegamenostalgia.com, much appreciated. And as I said before, I do little film, TV vlogs and information vlogs, and even the odd film and TV quiz like I do my city quizzes. So if you're interested in that, please check the playlists for the appropriate thing. So thanks for joining me for this big match preview. Leeds United versus Manchester City. That's good. It's good, isn't it? It's back to the old days. That'd be fantastic. I'm looking forward to that. Should be a good game. Should be a great game. Anyway, thanks for joining me. What are you going to do the rest of the day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves. Look after your friends. Look after your family, more importantly, look after each other. Until we meet again on the Citizen channel, please stay safe, Blues. We're saying goodbye for now. Thanks for watching.